In the heart of Texas, a community built on faith and family values was rocked by an unimaginable tragedy. Penny Skaggs was a devoted wife and mother, celebrated for her dedication to preserving traditional Christian marriages. But behind the facade of her picture-perfect life lurked a darkness that would shatter everything she stood for. Join us as we uncover the twists and turns of the Pious Housewife Massacre, a true crime story that proves even the most devout among us are not immune to evil happenings. Penny, whose real name was Lou Ann Earl, was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in November 1941. She was Sylvester Louise Earl and Mittie Lee Randall Earl's firstborn. The Earls moved to Tulsa from Childress, Texas in 1939. There were a couple of stories that explained why Lou Ann's lifelong nickname was Penny. One story is that when she was born, the nurse said she was as bright and shiny as a new penny. Another story says that the nuns at the hospital saw her father, who worked at the penny gumball machine in the hospital lobby. Whichever story you prefer, the nickname stuck. After Penny was born, 3 more daughters joined the Earls. Sharon arrived 4.5 years later, followed by twins Marilyn and Carolyn 5 years after that. Their mother, known as Mittie, was 40 when she had the twins. As the oldest, Penny assisted with her younger siblings. Even after they grew up and left Tulsa, Penny remained eager to help her sisters. In many ways, she acted like a second mother. There's a little over a 9-year age gap between them. The sisters grew up going to the First Baptist Church of Tulsa 3 times a week. Since most people in Tulsa were Baptist too, Penny had lots of activities as a teenager. Her high school had 39 clubs and groups, and Penny joined at least 12 of them. Because their family owned a popular local business, they were seen as upper middle class. Penny grew up financially comfortable, but not overly wealthy. Her middle-class upbringing in that time and place was marked by a simple innocence rarely seen today. This purity aligned with Tulsa's reputation as the heart of the Bible Belt, and most people thought it was an ideal place to raise a family. Penny finished high school in May of 1959 and stayed close to home for college at the University of Tulsa. In her first year, she got into student activities and joined the Delta Gamma sorority. At a school event, Penny met Roger Thomas Skaggs. Roger was tall, handsome, and really good-looking, an older student who caught Penny's eye. They hit it off right away and soon started dating exclusively. According to Penny's sister Sharon, Roger became a regular visitor at the Earls' home for the next 2 years. He was a third-year student studying management and marketing, and he was also in the university's Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC program. Roger was one of 3 brothers from a middle-class family with ties to the oil industry. He was born in Tulsa in 1939 but grew up in Fort Worth, where his father had a decent job as a mechanical engineer for Amoco Oil. Penny and Roger tied the knot in the spring of 1961. After graduating that spring, Roger joined the United States Air Force to fulfill his 4-year ROTC commitment. Penny finished her second year of college and then dropped out to focus on being a full-time wife, though she did some office work during the early years of their marriage. She was intelligent, but her main ambition was always to be a homemaker, to look after her kids and husband. Meanwhile, in the Air Force, Roger got into the fastest growing area of technology, which was computer science. After a while, he was sent for special computer training at a secret government facility near Roswell, New Mexico. He served there as a second lieutenant from 1961 to 1963 before being assigned to a regular posting at an Air Force base near Tokyo, Japan, where he was promoted to first lieutenant and served until 1965. This base was among the busiest U.S. sites for strategic bombers in the Pacific and housed one of the world's largest Department of Defense computer centers. Roger served as a logistics computer specialist at the Air Force Base in Japan. Once Roger fulfilled his military duty, he and Penny came back to the U.S. From 1965 to 1969, Roger worked in computer technology roles at IBM and Hager Clothing in Dallas. Then he joined a small computer firm, URS Systems. They assigned him to a position at Fort Hood, Texas, where the company did government and military contract work. Roger's work with URS Systems eventually led to a government contract role in Vietnam, where the U.S. was becoming increasingly involved in the war. However, Roger's job was relatively secure, so Penny accompanied him to one of the U.S. logistical bases near Saigon. During this period, Roger was enhancing his expertise in the computer field. He gained a stellar reputation and collaborated with the top American companies in the industry. However, he was also intelligent and driven. After Penny and Roger returned to the United States, they relocated frequently for Roger's career. He held various high-tech positions before finding stability as a systems engineering specialist at Ross Perot's Electronic Data Systems Corporation. They settled in Plano, Texas, after Roger joined EDS in November 1971. This was a high-tech hub north of Dallas, where the company had its headquarters. However, they continued to travel intensively for EDS. While working in Topeka, Kansas in 1972, they adopted an infant daughter named Sarah. The family then relocated to Yorkton in Westchester County, New York, where they stayed for almost 3 years before returning to Plano. Wherever she lived, Penny stayed connected with her sisters and parents. She kept in touch through phone calls, letters, and frequent visits. She made sure to call every holiday and visit at least 3 times a year, including Christmas. However, Penny never visited her family without Roger unless she had made elaborate arrangements for his care while she was away. She was a devoted and caring wife, ensuring everything was in place for Roger's comfort if he couldn't accompany her on visits or was traveling elsewhere. Since she didn't have a job outside the home, all household responsibilities fell on Penny. Her daily routine revolved around supporting Roger's work schedule and needs. EDS expected complete dedication from its employees and their families, offering perks like stock participation in return. However, this commitment had drawbacks, especially for families. The demands of the job, including long hours and constant travel, strained Roger and Penny's marriage. Penny attributed part of this strain to societal changes and feeling out of place in the sexual revolution. Amid these challenges, Penny met Linda Dillow, a family counselor promoting Christian marriages. Inspired, Penny dedicated herself to promoting traditional American marriages rooted in biblical principles. During an era of growing women's equality and independence, Penny's dedication to preserving traditional Christian marriages set her apart. After meeting Linda Dillow and reading her influential book, Creative Counterpart, Penny embarked on a lifelong mission, inspired by Dillow's teachings, which countered the women's liberation movement. Penny and a group of housewives studied the Bible to reclaim traditional marital values. They viewed their efforts as a response to societal shifts and aimed to uphold biblical mandates for marriage. After being offered an ownership stake in a promising startup management service company, Roger faced a tough choice to leave his successful position at EDS for a potentially greater career opportunity. However, departing from EDS wasn't easy, as Ross Perot, the founder, expected lifelong loyalty from his employees. Leaving the company was seen as a breakup rather than a typical job change, with Perot reportedly even considering removing ex-employees' names from company displays and achievements. In 1980, Roger left EDS and joined American Physician Service Group, APS, a company providing malpractice insurance management and financial services to physicians. APS was initially headquartered in Dallas but relocated to Austin, a rapidly growing tech hub 200 miles south. Roger quickly rose through the ranks at APS, benefiting from the opportunity to thrive in a smaller market compared to Dallas's tech giants. This move required Penny to leave her ministry and relocate their daughter Sarah, causing her to leave behind her school friends. The Skaggs family settled in Austin in 1984, joining a community of young, ambitious professionals, including academics, medical and legal professionals, military retirees, and tech executives. They found their niche in Bee Cave Woods, a prestigious subdivision within the southwest city limits of Austin, boasting the renowned Eanes Independent School District. The neighborhood was characterized by low crime rates, with regular police patrols ensuring safety. Rogers' company, Austin headquarters, was conveniently located just 5 miles from his home in the Hill County area. In 1984, Roger, Penny, and Sarah moved into their new home on Winter Park Road in Austin, Texas, marking the beginning of what seemed like an ideal American life. Despite not being a mansion, the spacious 2-story, 3,600 square foot house had a stately appearance with a circle drive and custom-built homes on the block. While Roger saw it as a fitting address for his prestigious position, Penny viewed it as the foundation for building her ideal Christian home. She quickly said about transforming the house into her dream home, decorating it to her taste with shades of blue. With 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a fenced backyard, everything seemed to be falling into place for Penny, who hoped it would also help improve her marriage, which had faced early difficulties. The family quickly integrated into their new community, with Penny prioritizing involvement in church activities. They joined the fastest-growing Baptist congregation in Austin, where Penny, raised as a Southern Baptist in Tulsa, felt at home. Penny took on a leadership role, teaching classes on Christian marriage and the role of the subservient wife. Using her kitchen for demonstrations, she emphasized obedience to husbands based on biblical teachings. Her classes, held in her spacious den, attracted many young women who admired her teachings, which were based on Proverbs 31. She generously shared Linda Dillow's book, Creative Counterpart, with her students, teaching directly from its chapters in weekly 2-hour sessions over 9 weeks. Penny's ultimate goal for each woman was to fulfill God's plan for their lives as individuals, wives, and mothers. In 1988, Rogers' career soared as he was promoted to Senior Vice President for Data Processing at APS, which thrived in Austin's booming high-tech market. While Roger excelled in his career, Penny grappled with challenges at home, including her daughter Sarah's rebellion. Sarah's defiance escalated, prompting Penny to enroll her in a strict Christian school in Northeast Texas, sparking resentment and straining their relationship. After completing high school at the religious school, Sarah returned to Austin but rebelled further, rejecting Penny's plans for her future. Despite Roger's financial support, Sarah pursued her own path, eventually working as a waitress at a strip club. Penny struggled to maintain appearances, omitting Sarah's job from family newsletters and grappling with public crusades against such establishments. Tensions peaked when Penny issued Sarah an ultimatum to find a new job or leave home. Sarah chose independence, moving into her own apartment, heightening Penny's frustration. Despite these family challenges, Roger's career continued to flourish, culminating in a marketing alliance with American International Healthcare in 1993, leveraging groundbreaking systems developed under his leadership at APS. In 1993, Penny was relieved to learn Sarah's upcoming wedding. The family celebrated Christmas and Roger's achievement of obtaining a private pilot's license. However, Roger's newfound passion for flying caused tension, exacerbated by Penny's fears of financial insecurity if something happened to him. Penny's joy turned to anger when Sarah announced her separation just a month after the wedding, leading to a strained relationship. In the spring of 1995, Roger changed his lunch routine, no longer going home, but instead frequently visiting a distant chili parlor, accompanied by a young redhead, potentially to avoid being seen with another woman close to his workplace. Roger's behavior with a young woman named Vanessa Ferguson raised eyebrows among his colleagues, sparking rumors of an affair due to his unusual treatment of her and their frequent appearances together. Vanessa later revealed that while Roger didn't seek an affair, he desired a physical relationship with her while maintaining his current life. Sarah, Roger's daughter, discovered the affair and confronted Roger and Vanessa in public. Despite Sarah's initial denial, evidence from friends and coworkers corroborated the affair. Meanwhile, Penny's health deteriorated, leading to a hospitalization where Roger's lack of support became apparent. Upon Penny's discharge, Roger made insensitive remarks about her ability to care for him, further straining their relationship. After Penny's recovery from illness, the family enjoyed a Caribbean cruise and celebrated Christmas with extended family in Dallas. Penny resumed her Christian ministry but seemed overly optimistic to friends. Concerns grew when Penny's neighbor observed Roger's restless behavior and his dubious excuse to leave for late-night shopping, which didn't align with store hours. Roger's late return home heightened suspicions of infidelity among Penny and her friends, indicating a troubled relationship. Edna Harrell accidentally spotted Roger and Vanessa Ferguson together during a lunch meeting, confirming rumors of an affair. Office gossip spread, leading Roger to deny allegations when confronted by colleagues. Penny's friends also noticed Roger's absence and speculated on his infidelity. Penny's demeanor changed. She attended a religious retreat where she exhibited emotional distress related to Roger. Upon returning, Penny's behavior suggested inner turmoil, coinciding with Roger's irregular lunch visit and extended work hours. Roger returned home after dinner, changed clothes, and went back to the office. Meanwhile, Penny was brutally murdered while playing the piano in the den. She was struck multiple times with a galvanized steel pipe, sustaining severe injuries to her face and head. The assailant then stabbed her multiple times with a carving knife and stole her jewelry. Roger claimed he discovered Penny's body upon returning home from work and called their neighbor Diana Coleman before contacting emergency services. Roger called 911 upon discovering Penny's body and reported that she appeared to be dead. The operator instructed him to wait outside for emergency services. Detectives arrived and spoke with Roger, who appeared distressed but had no visible blood on his clothing. Inside the den, Penny's body showed signs of brutal assault, while the rest of the home appeared undisturbed. After Penny's murder, evidence suggested a robbery due to missing jewelry, but the brutality of the attack indicated a personal motive. After the burial service, Roger informed Penny's family and expressed his intentions to hire a lawyer, suspecting he might become a suspect. Detectives focused on the case, believing the killer knew Penny due to the excessive violence. 2 dumpsters from Roger's office contained the murder weapons, Penny's jewelry, gloves, and bloody paper towels, indicating a personal connection to the crime. Fingerprint analysis revealed Roger's prints on latex gloves found in the dumpster, with one glove having Penny's blood and Roger's prints. Roger admitted to having an affair with Vanessa Ferguson and provided her as an alibi, but evidence conflicted with his timeline. Blood traces on the weapons linked Roger to the crime scene, leading to his arrest. Roger's lawyer challenged the bond of $1 million, which was eventually reduced to $500,000, and Roger made bail after a week in jail. His behavior after release, including shouting "I'm free" to neighbors, caused shock and led to severed friendships. Roger was indicated for murder, and he auctioned off his belongings before selling Penny's house and moving away, upsetting those who loved her. Roger continued his relationship with Vanessa despite his initial intentions to end it. His behavior, including making suggestive comments to a younger salon manager, drew attention. Despite the brutality of Penny's murder, the death penalty wasn't pursued due to insufficient special circumstances. Roger hired a top defense attorney, exhausting his savings. Legal proceedings, including motions for discovery and sequestering the jury, aimed to delay the trial. Vanessa's disappearance on the eve of the trial affected the case, as she was a material witness. The trial started in October 1998. The prosecutors had a hard time showing that Roger Skaggs was more than just a man going through a tough time and having an affair, because Roger and Penny were known to be good people. People talked about a fight between Roger and Penny in the past, but there wasn't any recent proof of them fighting. Roger didn't speak in court, and his lawyers tried to show that the investigation and DNA evidence weren't reliable, especially because of a possible contamination. Even though there were discussions about Roger's use of gloves and possible contamination, the jury decided he was guilty after thinking about it for 8 hours. During the part of the trial where they decided on the punishment, Sarah talked about how her dad was always patient, but he still got a 32-year jail term and had to pay $10,000. Finally, we must all learn that no marriage is perfect. Even the most devoutly religious unions can harbor deep-seated issues and resentments if left unaddressed. Open and honest communication is vital for any healthy relationship to thrive. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on that notification bell to stay updated on our latest true crime content. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to stay safe and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Thanks for watching.